Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good wherever you are. Guys, I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope you guys are keeping well. So guys, obviously Ryan Garcia split with Eddy Reynoso, Team Canelo, as we would say. A lot of people have had their say. You know, I saw my video that I did, and a lot of you made your opinions about Ryan Garcia. Look, firstly, I want to say I think Ryan Garcia is a very talented kid. I think he's a good fighter. Some of you were saying, having a dig at him, saying he's not dedicated. Some of you were, having a pop at Ryan Garcia, saying that, this Little Penny, my man Little Penny, I've got a lot of time for Little Penny. Little Penny said, this could be the demise of Ryan Garcia. This could be the start of the fall of Ryan Garcia. I don't want to say that. I don't really want to say that because I think Ryan Garcia is a talent. I think Ryan Garcia is a very good fighter. And I really like Ryan Garcia. I really like these fighters. I think Ryan Garcia is a very good fighter. He's a good kid as well. He comes across really well. He speaks well. I think he's a very good fighter. He's got his flaws, but who doesn't have their flaws? Not everyone's Mayweather or got that's just that good. No, not most fighters aren't that good. But Ryan Garcia has his attributes. He has his attributes that makes him a top fighter. He has his flaws which make him vulnerable. But Ryan Garcia basically said the reason why he split with Eddy Reynoso is just time. The fact that Eddy Reynoso is a very busy man and he just needs more time. And I mentioned this, that obviously Reynoso has so many fighters, so many champions. Where does he train all these guys? How does he get in? And someone like Ryan Garcia, see, I do think Ryan Garcia needs more attention because he does need to correct those flaws. Also, there needs to be strategy put in place in order to straighten out those flaws. Not just that, Ryan Garcia would need a lot of, like I said with Amir Khan, Ryan Garcia needs a lot of guidance, in my opinion. I saw my man Ben Golf said, I think it's Ben Golf said that Amir Khan, it doesn't matter who trained him, his punch resistance was 0. It's incorrect. If you look at Amir Khan's career when he was under Freddie Roach, Amir Khan was a very offensive fighter. And he took a lot of punches. He was actually very good. I actually think that the fact that Ariza was his strength and conditioning coach, he strengthened up Amir's legs and made Amir a much better fighter, in the sense that Amir he took shots a lot better. Even though he didn't have the greatest chin, I felt like he was still more resilient. But when Ariza left him, I feel like Amir became more vulnerable. However, when he joined Virgil Hunter, Amir Khan developed a way of fighters not getting to his chin. And what I mean by that is he grabbed hold a lot. He used to negate fighters with his speed and movement. And when they used to get close, he used to grab hold. So Amir Khan found a way under Virgil Hunter to kind of, protect his chin. The Canelo fight, it doesn't matter who would have trained him. The guy was just too big. I don't think some of you really give Khan the credit for some of his performances that he had with Collazo, Alexander. That was him dedicated in the gym with Virgil Hunter, who had actually come up with a plan to help Amir Khan to, basically straighten out those weaknesses. So Amir Khan did, in my opinion, improve. And I actually think that Amir Khan under Virgil Hunter was a problem for any welterweight because of the fact that of the way Virgil Hunter got him to fight a very safety-first style. I feel like Garcia, although he's not as athletically as gifted as Khan in terms of his feet, Garcia's a little bit more flat-footed. Khan's a better mover. He's probably quicker than Garcia. Doesn't have Garcia's power. But Garcia is at a lighter weight, of course. Let's see how Garcia's power translates to 140 and 147. But the point I'm trying to make is the trainer that you go with can help you devise a certain game plan to avoid those weaknesses, or to kind of those weaknesses that you have. They can work a game plan, a strategy to get you to fight in a way where those weaknesses aren't exposed. And I feel like Garcia needs to have that perfect game plan as well, because what we saw with Luke Campbell, that Garcia is vulnerable and he can be put down. And against someone more dangerous than Luke Campbell, Garcia could have been knocked out. So Garcia is going to have a good trainer, and he's going to have more attention, because Garcia isn't somebody that, for me, he's a superstar. What I mean by that is Garcia is a superstar in his own right, and he needs to be given attention. especially a guy that's not. Canelo is a complete fighter. He doesn't need as much as attention. He can do things himself. Garcia needs a lot more attention because he's a flawed fighter. He needs to improve his game a lot more. Because he's more vulnerable. Like I said, he needs a strategy and a game plan and a way to fight to avoid, to avoid getting those weaknesses exposed that he has. Also, he doesn't have, at this point, he's still young, Garcia. He doesn't have the boxing brain of a Canelo. So this is why I think him leaving Reynoso has its advantages and disadvantages, because in that gym, Ryan Garcia is just another fighter. There's so many champions, there's so many other great fighters that he can pick their brains from. But at the same time, how much time can Eddy really give him when he's involved with Canelo and he's the manager of Canelo, the biggest pound-for-pound fighter in the world? I hope that Joe Goossen works out for Ryan Garcia, because I believe Ryan used to be trained by Joe Goossen before. What I saw with Joe Goossen and Amir Khan, I feel like he wasn't the right style for Amir Khan, because I felt like Amir Khan needed someone like Virgil Hunter, who was a more defensively sound, worked on defense more. And that might be the same for Ryan Garcia, because his style is not similar, but kind of similar, where he looks to be vulnerable just like Khan was. And he needs to be able to use his attributes to fight a more safety-first fight. But does he have the foot speed that Khan had to move in a way? Because Garcia he's a big puncher. But again, at world level, when you come up against the top guys, are you going to be such a big puncher? I don't know. I do think Ryan Garcia has some attributes that can cause a lot of these world level guys trouble, because he's fast and he's got power. That's a deadly combination. But if those guys are able to take his power, then he's also vulnerable to be countered himself. And guys like Ryan Garcia, they're more vulnerable just because of their fighting style. They're offensively gifted and offensively minded fighters. So like I said, at times you need to put in a right game plan for them, depending on who they're fighting. I think the right game plan needs to be put in place for someone like Ryan Garcia, who is flawed, who has got his flaws. You need to help him straighten out those flaws and help him improve, and he needs more time. But when you've got someone like Eddy Reynoso, who's got so many champions in the gym, he's got so many people he's got to worry about, it probably isn't a bad move. And also Ryan Garcia probably views himself as a #1 fighter because of the attention he brings, how big a star he is. He probably feels he needs the main attention. So that's why he's probably gone back to Joe Goossen, who I don't believe has any marquee fighters like Ryan Garcia. So he'll be getting all the attention. It's just whether that's the right fit for Ryan Garcia. It may well be. It may well be. Time will tell. Time will tell. Some of you don't think it's a right move. I think, it might not be a bad move. I just think the style of the trainer, is it going to fit with Garcia? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But I do like Ryan Garcia. I think he's got ability. I think he's got talent. I definitely do. I think he's a problem. I just think he needs to, like I said, devise a game plan where he can use his attributes a lot better. And hopefully that comes with more experience and time. But Garcia can fight. He's a good fighter. He's a good fighter. So, him moving and him leaving trainer has its pros and cons, because Garcia is at the stage of his career where he needs a lot of attention. He needs to improve. And he knows that he's going into the phase of his career where he's now going to have to step up and fight the top fighters. And in order for him to do that, he needs to make sure that he's got a good fighting strategy. He's got a good game plan, and he's getting enough time, because like I said, Eddy Reynoso has got probably the busiest. He's a very busy guy, not just with training, but he's Canelo's manager. He's the pound for pound manager, I believe. Canelo, he's probably got a lot of things on his plate. So can Eddy Reynoso really give Ryan the time that he needs? Probably not, when you think about some of the other championship level fighters he's got. I didn't understand how he trained. Like, he's got Ryan Garcia, Martinez, Andy Ruiz. He's got he had Virgil Ortiz, but I think Virgil Ortiz, has he gone to Eddy Reynoso? Has he gone to somewhere else? I think he there? And then he had others, Canelo. He had so many, and then Ryan Garcia. Like, it was just like crazy, the amount of fighters that he had. And it's kind of like, how is he How is he, you know, giving all of these guys time, you know? So I think it's probably a good move from that sense because Ryan needs more attention. Whether the selection of trainer works well for Ryan Garcia, I think time will tell. But I hope it works out for him. I really hope it works out for him. You know, some people were saying that the reason why Ryan left is because of the things that Canelo said and Reynoso said. I don't think so, personally. I don't think so, because Canelo's the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Why would Ryan Garcia leave because Canelo's saying, I think Ryan needs to be more dedicated? There's no reason for you to leave because someone's giving you good advice. That's good advice. Someone's saying that I think Ryan needs to be more dedicated. Ryan needs to be in the gym a lot more. That's good advice. That's not someone being horrible. That's someone... Canelo probably cares for Ryan Garcia. He probably wants the best for Ryan Garcia. You know? But it depends on how people view it. Like some people, like Ryan Garcia is a massive star in his own right. So he probably wants his own space. He probably doesn't want to be under the wing of Canelo. Some people may relish it because they think, oh, we're with the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. I can ask him for tips. I can get, you know, different tips off him. You know, my profile will increase in the boxing world because I'm in the same stable as Canelo. Some people want their own attention. Some people don't being under the wing. Like, for example, Amir Khan is fighting Kell Brook, and he's gone now to fight. He's gone now under Crawford's trainer, Bromack. And he fought Crawford and lost to Crawford. The point I'm trying to make is that he probably thinks at this stage of his career, he's looking at what's the best for him to win that fight against Kell Brook. What's the best? And he probably thinks the training camp, the training that he's set up there is good for him. So you know, that he thought that was the best move. He doesn't care being under Crawford's wing. But this is just one fight. Ryan Garcia's got his whole career ahead of him. Khan's at the end of his career. So this is a more important move. Him going back to Joe Goosen's a more important decision and move because Ryan Garcia's got his whole career. This could make or break his career, this decision. So it's very important he gets it right. You know, because Ryan Garcia's at the stage of his career where he needs to make sure everything's right. Otherwise, it, you know, like I said, it could impact his career. So he needs to make sure that the decision is well thought of. There's, you know, there's team behind it, thinking about what's the best. Is this the best move? But I hope it works out for Ryan Garcia. I really wish Ryan Garcia all the best because I like Ryan Garcia. I think he's a good fighter. He's a very exciting fighter. And if he gets his head down and knuckles down, I definitely feel that he's a threat in the division. I definitely think he's a threat at 135. I'm telling you. He's got attributes that can cause the top guys problems. It's just whether we can all put it together, you know, and devise a game plan in order to use those attributes effectively and lessen the chances of his weaknesses being exposed. That's what it's about. Devising, you know, high-level sport is about tactics. Devising good game plans. Looking at your opponent's weakness. How you're going to lessen your weakness, fight in a way where your weaknesses are less exposed. You know, these are all things that at the high level of in any sport, it's important. So let's see how Ryan Garcia gets on here. I really wish Ryan Garcia the best. I think Ryan Garcia is a cracking fighter, a great fighter. He just needs to, like I said, knuckle down, work hard in the gym, and hopefully this going back to Joe Goosen works out for him. And you know, we're gonna see him fight soon, and then hopefully he's gonna fight a bigger fight. You know, Ryan Garcia is now going into the stage of his career where those big fights are probably gonna happen, or his fight after this one is gonna be a relatively biggish fight. So it's, like I said, make or break time for Ryan Garcia. So that's why this decision it has to work out. It has to be right, and every move that he makes has to be right, because now he's going to move into that part of his career where, you know, the tougher fights are going to start to present itself. So let's see how it all plays out. Let's see how it works. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.